we go. Last week of the season. Victory Formation Podcast. This is how we do it, man. Eddie, say what's up to the people.
What's up, ladies and
Eddie?
gentlemen?
There you go. I couldn't tell. I couldn't tell who you were.
It's Georgie P and it's Shysty. I decided to get the Shysty like shoddy. I'm gonna call it my shoddy Shysty. So I think I saw him on. I don't know if you saw those pictures, but he was skiing on Christmas and he was wearing the Dallas Cowboys Shysty down the hill.
I thought you were gonna commit a crime after it was one of those when you got to do the podcast at 6 and then commit a robbery at 8.
I had to get the kids Christmas presents somehow.
You in a hot state, man. Why are you wearing a warm weather thing?
Shit. I know. Anyway. It's nice and cool in my house though. I like to. Hey, my air conditioner's been pumping all year. I mean, it hasn't even stopped yet. So I don't want to talk. I see these pictures of people in the snow. My AC is still going on.
Crazy. I got heat on Texas. All right, let's jump into it. Big games coming up this week. It's playoff scenarios, which they don't involve the Cowboys, so we're all right. But we got some big games around the NFL.
Yeah, we got week 18.
Playing in games. Yeah, it's a couple playing in games. Who we got?
You know what's crazy is that the NFL schedule is, I don't know if you have your foil hat on very often, but the NFL schedule has nailed the schedule, right? So with the playoff scenarios is basically already all unpacked, AFC, NFC scenarios, but there's two games that are actually player get in or out. We're looking at the Baltimore. What is Baltimore and who are they playing? Steelers. Baltimore Steelers. So
yeah, that's right.
If Steelers would have been able to take care of the Browns, this wouldn't have happened, right? But the NFL script allowed the Browns to beat the Steelers, so that now it comes down to
that game was so bad. I'm like, what is going on?
And so now Steelers have to win, or Baltimore win. Whoever wins gets in. In the NFC, same scenario: Carolina versus Tampa Bay. I think, in my opinion, Tampa Bay was really hot coming out of the gates, and they've kind of slowed down a little bit. Maybe injuries, could be a lot of, there's a lot of competition in that South. The Carolina Panthers, man, they're hot right now. I wouldn't want to play them right now. I don't know about you.
So it was one thing that popped up that I thought was weird. So in the NFC South with Tampa Bay and Carolina, Atlanta made it kind of interesting when they beat who they play Monday night.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about.
The Rams. So now it's possible for them to have a 3-way tie. But if they have a 3-way tie, if Carolina, Carolina can win and they're in, or they can still lose and get in if Atlanta beats New Orleans. Because for some reason,
I think it comes down to the head-to-head versus Atlanta versus.
So if Atlanta beats New Orleans, then they'll be tied with the Bucs. Except they have, based off the tiebreakers, they would jump the Bucs. But if Carolina loses and they tie with Atlanta, they would be ahead of Atlanta. So it's two ways Carolina can get in. They can win or lose. If they win, they're automatically in. If they lose, then Atlanta has to win for them to be in. If they lose to the Bucs and Atlanta loses to New Orleans, then the Bucs are in. So that's the only winning in scenarios for the NFC. And then, like you said, the Pittsburgh and Baltimore, they're winning in. Whoever wins the AFC North and goes to the playoffs.
And with the 1 seed, the only team that has a bye. I mean, it's important that the matchups are right. I didn't get into too much of the seedings because a lot of the games that are being played on Sunday are going to affect the seedings. But I mean, we could spend an hour talking about the math that goes into that. When it really comes down to it, I mean, I am a big proponent of the playoffs is just a second season. Get in, just get in, no matter what. I don't care if you're seed 1 or if you're seed 7. Yeah, so you just get in. That's all that matters. What else are we talking about?
One thing
there was a big announcement of
the is a Green Bay already in? Yeah. Green Bay's in. Never mind. I was hoping they would lose and our draft pick would be better, but they're already in.
Yeah, well, we didn't get any help this last week for our draft pick, but I believe that I don't think that they're going to win this week. Packers, they got a lot of injuries. They're hot.
They're on fumes right now as far as players.
Exactly.
Like they're just grabbing people off the streets. Like, hey, can you play football?
Like, hey, man,
and
you got the water boy. But yeah, we got. The draft pick right now, according to PFF, I think we're slated to get the 13th and like the 21st, something like that. So so exciting that we just kept that first round pick. We could have traded it.
Without giving it to
could have been gone. We wouldn't even think about it. But next thing I wanted to talk about, or we kind of discussed, was today we got a message about how the Hall of Fame for 2026 finalists were announced.
I saw that.
And 2 Cowboys were on there.
Any of our guys on there?
Yeah, we had Woodson and Witten. And I believe this is Witten's first year.
Been on there every year, like the last 10 years.
No, Woodson has. There's no reason why Woodson shouldn't be on there, to be honest. I mean, I know I'm a homer when it comes to it. Yeah, Lynch is good. There's just, I think he deserves to be in there, right?
So
Jason Witten.
Before we get into it, let me explain what's going on. For people who don't know about the Hall of Fame, they select 15 people for the finalists. Then after that, they select 5.
So the
selection committee, they can collect up to 5 modern era players. So modern era is like, in our time. And then sometimes they bring in older people from like the 60s and 70s who really made, who numbers don't really bear it out, but they were made, good contributions to the game. Sometimes they let some of those old timers in. But it's going to be 5 people. Well, up to 5 people. They can select 2, 3, or 4. If they believe that nobody's really deserving, they can be like, we don't have to select 5. They can select up to 5. So 5 is the limit.
So and those are just players too, because I think they can select coaches and like all those other ones too.
Correct. Yeah.
I think the 15. Not to get too deep in the weeds with it, but just like when you and I vote for the Hall of Fame, I think it's to get these 15 in, and then they do the voting on, like the players and everybody else does the voting on actually who wins it.
So
it's not so much
actual committee that selects the 5, and then they
people say it's a popularity contest, but it really, it isn't. You can get your guy in the dance, but you can't get him to win. So exactly. I thought that was pretty cool for us to have 2. Normally, with that Hall of Fame game, the majority. I mean, if you have a majority of players in that, I mean, if we have 2 guys that are being inducted, we're going to play in that game. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. If it depends on who the 5 finalists are, they pick 2 teams from two teams from. Once the 15 gets knocked down to 5, then they pick 2 of the players, and then those 2 teams play in the Hall of Fame.
Most of the time, they'll try to do it so that if there's like multiple people in there too, if there's like 2 Steelers in there, then the Steelers are definitely in there, things like that. Next thing,
I think we're the only multiple people in there.
That's what I saw.
Other than that, everybody only played. Well, some of them play for multiple teams, but when you think of a player, he only assigned to one. Like Frank Gore, he played for like 6 teams, but everybody knows he was a San Francisco 49er.
Yeah,
kind of like
you go in, you decide the team that you want to go into.
Yeah, like he played for 3 teams, but we know him for Baltimore. So if he went in, they might pick Baltimore to play in the Hall of Fame game, not the Kansas City Chiefs when he played 1 season. So that's how it works.
Very true. Very true.
All right.
So, Jesus, I didn't even know Eli Manning was up for it again.
Eli Manning does not belong in the Hall of Fame. But that's a whole different show. That just makes me mad. He's the only person on this list who I would say should not even be considered. But anyway,
I was listening to 105 the other day, and they were talking about the Hall of Fame, and they're like, the difference between quarterbacks like Dan Marino being in there without Super Bowl win is because he deserved to be in there because because his resume said, Jesus, this guy's a Hall of Fame quarterback. When you look at Eli Manning's, I mean, you could look at his stats and go, this is pedestrian until you get to the Super Bowl wins.
Take away the Super Bowls, it's like it's no way. So like his
take
claim
away
to fame is
like
he beat the Patriots twice. That's his claim to fame. That's it. His numbers are terrible. Well, Hall of Fame terrible. I mean, he's a good quarterback. I'm not going to say he wasn't a good quarterback. He's just not Hall of Fame worthy based off his numbers.
Two things that will always go down with Eli Manning to me is his Hall of Fame, and he signed our stadium. He signed our stadium when we opened it, winning that opening week.
He won the first game and signed the wall.
We'll never get away from that.
And Jerry left it up too. He left it up.
I'd have framed it. I'd have framed it so that we see it every week. You're like, look at this.
I'd have power washed that off the wall as soon as he walked out.
All right. So next thing I want to talk about was just a few things that happened during the week. The Colts, unfortunately, the Colts were hot, man. They didn't make the playoffs. They ended up not making the playoffs. Sucked.
Injuries destroyed their team. Like, man, it was so bad.
I felt bad for Taylor. I felt bad for that defense. I felt bad for that coach.
They should have never got Sauce Gardner. Sauce Gardner broke a record. He's the first player to go 1-7 on two different teams.
Two different teams.
He was with the Jets. He was 1-7. He left and came to the Colts as soon as they lost Daniel Jones and promptly went 1-7. So if he was a team, he'd had the first pick in the draft right now.
He definitely. It was
bad luck.
That was. When I read that, I said, "Oh man, he's just bringing that juju to them." But
man, that is such.
They're going to actually sit the old man Rivers experiment's over. They're going to sit him. It was good to see him come back. It was even funnier to
5
see
years of insurance for his 27 kids.
It was even funnier to see the quarterbacks that came out that said, "Hey, why am I not playing?" I thought that was funny. But I don't know about
Newton
you, but
one of
that whole Cam Newton thing was really strange because he was. I think he thinks he was better than he was, but whatever. Yeah. I don't know about you, but I've watching these games this week. It had, or even last week too. It had a playoff feeling to it. Like a lot of the games were like, even the one that we were watching, was it last night or Sunday night? Like,
no, the Bears 49ers, that was a really good game. I'm like, I was on the edge of my seat, and I hate the 49ers. Yeah, and I'm like, this is a good game. Fan.
Exactly. It was. They're bringing me back because a couple weeks ago I was like, oh man, football's over. Whatever. I'm not a big fan of football anymore.
Like, man.
But is there something that
the playoffs? I kind of checked out, except for I was in the fantasy playoffs, but then I really checked out. But the games drew me in. I'm like, man, that game was very interesting because it broke a record. It was the first time a game was 7-7, 14-14, 21-21, 28-28, and then 35-35. It was each team had that same throughout the whole game. That was the first time it ever happened in NFL history. It was pretty interesting.
So, but even like the Bills-Eagles game, that felt like a playoff game too. Even though it was still 7-7 and like third quarter, it still felt like a playoff game because they had something to play for, right?
Nobody wanted that game. It was so infuriating, but it was a good game.
What's cool about this year was usually with fantasy playoffs, most leagues try to play them in like week 15 and 16 because they know 17 and 18 aren't going to be very competitive. They've been super competitive this year.
Last week, competitive. I don't think there was any game that really they're like, oh, let's sit. The only game I know where people were
fucking
tanking was the Giants, the Giants Raiders game where they were trying to outsit like, oh, Brock Bowers, you stubbed your toe. Okay, you're on IR. Okay, you guy.
Dude, I was in the playoffs, and I had Dak starting, and I also had Travion Henderson. And when they sat Dak in the third.
Oh,
I was like,
man,
no, just let him freaking try. And then Henderson was hurting. I lost big time.
I hate that, man. I hate that so much.
Move on to next year. But
let's see.
with that being said, I mean, the matchups, we talked about that. I mean, scouts right now are evaluating players in the college playoffs right now. Don't forget about that, because that is a big thing right now, because with the college playoffs, this is a competitive environment, and coaches, NFL teams want to see these big players playing in these big games.
Yep. No more sitting out bowls like people used to like. Yeah, I'm opting out of the Gay
They go to the Mobile Bowl,
Barker Bowl. Yeah.
And then finally, the final thing that I have about like just the NFL news is the power rankings this week, heavily AFC rated again.
Man,
Seattle is the only NFC team in the top 5. They were number 1. Then it goes New England, Denver, Jacksonville, and Buffalo.
Rams gave up their spot with that egg they laid last night.
Rams and the Bears are out of it. They were in top 5 last week.
What crazy that proved to me yesterday was like nobody wants to win. Yeah. No one wants to win the MVP this year. Everybody who had like a firm grasp on it just laid stinkers. And was like Josh Allen did it, Stafford did it. What's the other guy who was Drake May is the only one who's really been consistently good to where he can get it, but it comes with a caveat. I mean, he's been doing what he's supposed to do.
You keep saying this. You keep saying this. But if you look at their schedule, they're not. Those aren't weak teams. Those teams have beat really good teams. I mean,
they're terrible.
The teams that they beat.
Their schedule is bad. Yeah, their strength of schedule is like one of the easiest in NFL history.
Pull up the Patriots schedule. I'm going to sacrifice 3 minutes talking about this. I'll delete something.
All right,
but we got to talk about this, because if we look at because I looked at it and I was like the teams that they played. I mean, I understand they're saying that the strength isn't that good, but they're still played NFL strength teams.
The last game they played was against the Jets. That might be the worst team ever.
Can you share it?
I forgot you can share screens. So let me see. Screen. I forgot we have the technology.
Technology is our friend.
Let me know when you can see this.
I can see it.
All right. So this right here is the last game they played against the Jets. The Jets might be the worst team ever in NFL history. They lost against a good team, the Bills. They played the Bengals, which were bad.
No, but you can't. Hold on. Time out. Hold on. The Bengals right there, that wasn't a bad Bengals team. They just played. That's when he came back. Quarterback came. So that offense was huge. They had to beat that offense.
Their defense is worse than ours, so that's why I'm like they're terrible. Bengals defense is worse than ours. The only defenses worse than ours this season are the Bengals and the Jets.
Okay.
The Buccaneers, I'll give them a pass on that one. That's
so it's 2 out of 4.
Decent team. They're not great.
The Bucs are playoffs. Browns, what are you talking about? So are the Bills.
But they've been bad recently. Like
Bills, Bengals, Bucs. Bills, Buccaneers are in the playoffs. So we'll move forward.
But the Bills beat the Patriots.
That's what I'm saying. But they're a playoff team. You can't. You're talking about the whole schedule. So okay, Browns.
Browns are bad.
Browns.
Saints are bad.
Saints are a playoff team almost. Saints are beating people. Saints are beating playoff teams right now.
Panthers, that's a good win.
Another playoff
team. This
is
the only, but then you know what? They have a losing record. They've only beaten one team that has a winning record so far. The Dolphins are bad. The Giants are.
What are you talking about? The only team that has a winning record. They're playing 3 playoff teams. Those 3 teams have to have winning records.
They beat. Oh, so over here they beat the Ravens. I'm sorry, I went down this list. I should have went here, then here, then here. So
those are other games. Okay.
Yeah. So they beat the Ravens, who they've been up and down. They're up and down, but they have a losing record too. I'm trying to find the winning team that they beat. Who they beat? Oh, the Bills. The Bills are the only team they beat with the winning record this season.
How
that's it. All these other teams have a losing record, and then they lost to the Steelers.
How is
the
that
Steelers
possible? What are you talking about losing records? They're in the playoffs. So how do they have a losing record? What are you talking about?
The NFC North, they have a losing. Someone is going to win the I'm sorry, the NFC
you're talking
South.
about?
Someone is going to win the NFC South with a losing record, 8-9.
Okay, I see what you're saying. So those two teams you're talking about. So no other team. The only teams that you
with
really
the winning record is the Bills, right here.
They beat the Bucs and they beat the Panthers. Yes, but you don't think that those are quality wins because they have losing records.
Well, I'm not saying those aren't quality wins. I'm just saying they have one win against a team with the winning record this season. They're 13-3.
This is some Stephen Jones ass shit right here.
I'm just saying
this is some Stephen Jones ass shit.
They have won one game against a team with a winning record.
I'm gonna go out on a very, very thick ass limb and say that the Patriots are going to get really deep in the playoffs. And they're going to get real deep.
Let me give this caveat, which I've said in the Discord, so I don't want people to think I'm just agreeing with you. I did say in the Discord that they're a really good team. I just said it's very convenient that they had a very easy schedule. Now, what they did was they beat all the easy teams they're supposed to do. While I do believe they can win a couple games in the playoffs, I don't think they're a Super Bowl team yet. But I do believe they can win a couple games in the playoffs. But I wouldn't be surprised if they lost their first game.
I'm going to challenge you to watch a Patriots game this year because I don't think that you watched it at all.
I've seen several. Drake May is really good.
Yeah, and their defense is really good, and their receivers are really good, and their running backs are really good, and their offensive line is really good.
But they might lose their.
I'm not even a Patriots fan.
Based off the news today, they might lose their best receiver. Trevon Diggs.
I don't think Diggs is like the third receiver on that team. But honestly, I think the other guy. Boutte is looking really good.
Yeah, because he went to LSU, and I thought he was going to be better than he was. He had a slow start to his career.
He's like a Debo, huh? He's like,
man, he had a slow start to his career, but he come on late, and then I forgot the other guy. But Travion Henderson's good, and they lived through their tight ends. Hunter Henry's his favorite target. So is Hooper. Hooper's pretty good. I remember him from Atlanta.
My thing about it is that I said in the Discord was Vrabel came in and like he just solidified. He said, "This is the Patriots way. I went through this. This is the way that we're going to do it." Like he brought him right back to it. Is my feeling.
This is why some teams are poverty teams because the Jets had a chance at him twice and they passed on him both times.
They're like,
they passed
but the Titans couldn't do it either. Like it's not like he brought that mentality to the Titans. I didn't see it, but maybe
he didn't wait to get a quarterback. He didn't wait to get a Drake May. Quarterbacks.
They kept trying, man. They kept trying. They swung at who was that other dude? That other big white dude that they drafted at 2 or 3 years ago.
Will Levis.
Yeah, he was supposed to be Drake May.
He could have had a lifetime Levi Jeans commercial endorsement.
They didn't
screwed it up,
and
man.
I don't think the Patriots even wanted Drake May. The Patriots wanted. I think the Vikings and the Patriots were playing this game about Drake May. Like they were who was going to get J.J. McCarthy. McCarthy was supposed to go before Drake May. Remember that. But anyway,
he wasn't a rock star in college like he is in the NFL. Like to me, he's better in the NFL than he was in college. In my eyes.
God, yeah, got it. So anyway. You want to talk a little bit about the Cowboy news that we talked about? We already talked about how, or did we? About Diggs being released today. Man, big news.
It's a bad day for Mama Diggs, man. It's a bad day for Mama Diggs. She had two breaking stories about her kids on the same day.
She the one that wears that split jersey. Yeah.
So first,
what's crazy?
For those who don't know, is Trevon Diggs got charged with a battery. He choked his chef. Both supposedly choked and slapped and choked his chef after she said that he owed her some money. So that's the story. You got to be on TMZ to. And then of course his brother Trevon Diggs got released, and then according to Jordan Schultz, it's because he has family in the DC area. So he asked, since it's Christmas, it's the holidays, instead of flying back to Dallas, then him taking a flight back to DC, he asked, could he stay in DC, skip the team flight? And they said no. Then he asked again, and they said, no, you're coming back with us. And then I guess they got into it, and then so they released him today.
So the verbiage on that, let me ask him again, was, oh, you're not going to let me go? Well, I'm just going to touch 2 feet in Dallas and fly right back. And they're like, oh, fuck you. No, you're not. You're not going to play games with us like that. But my thing about this is, I mean, there's a lot of controversy and conspiracies about what this. I mean, something happened at home, or something happened weeks ago.
A TV fell on his head. That's what he said. A TV pole fell on his head. He had a concussion.
I don't know if you saw that picture, but I mean, this guy's a multi-millionaire. Over who
why is he hanging his own TV?
Installs a TV on a pole in their house. But anyways, the conspiracy theories are really rampant right now. My whole thought on this is we've been seeing this for a couple weeks now with Diggs, and like in practice, like what they were talking about earlier was Diggs was dancing in practice, not listening, not in the huddles in defense. In the meetings, he was dozing off. He wasn't like participating in stuff. And then, I mean, this last straw was, I don't know if you saw the tweet about when he's begging the safety to tell him
when he's looking at Hooker, like what's the play? What's the play?
And I'm like, and that wasn't just one time, right? It wasn't one time. It was like 9 times throughout the game, and like the frustration. I know Eberflus is up in the booth, and then there was a whole bunch of chaos going on with the defense and stuff, but still, those calls got in on time. He's not in the huddle. He gets the call, and then he's nonchalantly like, "Oh my God, what do I do? Who am I covering?" It's not time to start saying who am I covering 2 seconds before the snap in the NFL Week 17.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, like I said in the Discord, I would pay good money to really find out what percentage of our failure is on the players and what percentage of our failure is on the defensive coordinator. Because it's no way a good defensive coordinator. He's been a good defensive coordinator. When he was with us, he was good. When he was at Indianapolis, he didn't have as good of players as us, and he was really good. And then his defense at the Bears was decent. It wasn't like groundbreaking, but it was still decent. So to come here and be the worst defense we've ever had, something is going on. Like, I don't know if he just is like stubborn or whatever. Like, but it's on both sides. I just want to know what percentage. Is it 20% players, 80% him, 70%
but they
him,
talked about
30%
it last
players? It's crazy.
I was listening to 105 again yesterday about this whole situation, and they were talking about, the first question was, well, when we look back at it, did Eberflus have the ingredients that he needed for his defense? Which is, it's difficult to walk into a situation and it be perfect for you. I understand that, but they went over all the free agents that we brought in that match exactly what he wanted. I mean, they named him. There was like 7 defensive players that we brought in that were almost handpicked for his defense, and it didn't work. We brought his middle linebacker over that knew his defense. We brought a safety over that knew his defense. He drafted some players. I mean, when it all comes down to it, I know he doesn't make the plays. He's not out there playing football. So a portion of this has to go on the player. You have to want to be engaged in meetings. You have to go a little bit extra. You and I both know at work, if you do the bare minimum, you're going to get the bare minimum back. But I mean, if you train a little bit off the clock, if you do a little research, if you learn about your competitors, it makes you a better employee. It makes you more successful. And it doesn't look like some of the players that we have on our team right now were doing that extra stuff. You know what I mean?
So this is why I think he won't be back next year. Only because they got him some really good players. They got him some good players. And throughout the season, players came back, but our defensive effort and rankings never changed. So we started off bad, but we had a lot of injuries in the beginning, and we didn't have the high quality players we did in the beginning. So it was kind of understandable that he wouldn't have. But then we got, Kenny Clark was there. We got a lot of like our cornerback started coming back. Rebel started playing. We got Quentin Williams for a long stretch of time, like 5-6 games, but our defense still stayed the same. Like our run game got a little bit better for a little bit, but then it went right back to being one of the worst run defenses. That's why I think it's more on him than it was the players. And that's why I think he'll be gone. Only because of that. They got him good players and he still sucked.
Most of us know, most of us that have been around the game and are fans of it know when you watch the first half of an NFL game, God, sometimes you get your ass kicked. Sometimes your team is like, oh my God, we're getting dragged. But these professional coaches, they go in at halftime and they make adjustments.
Yeah.
Everyone does.
Yeah.
And we didn't do that at all. It was almost comical. Like, it would be like, why are you not changing this a little bit? Why are you not removing this? Why is Kenneth Murray still playing?
Oh
what the hell is going on?
A perfect example of this is would be we would start a game and we would be like, okay, we're going to play. This is a second-year quarterback or a new quarterback, kind of like J.J. We're just going to sit back and flood the zones and make him make mistakes. He tore us up in the first half. In the second half, we're like, you know what? Let's start putting some pressure on him. Nope. Let's continue to do the same thing we did in the first half and continue to let him carve us up throughout the game. I'm telling you, every game somebody would have to
say that whole thing. Say that whole thing. Say that whole thing again, but plug Russell Wilson in there. Like you could say the whole thing, and we could plug different quarterbacks in there. We're like Geno Smith. Like all these stupid ass quarterbacks that had the best game that they ever played.
The number one stat that should like 3 stats. The number one stat that should get Eberflus fired is in the last like 12 games, 13 games, the Arizona Cardinals have won 1 game. And that was against us like 8 weeks ago. After that, they've just gotten killed every game.
It wasn't with Kyler either. It was Jacoby. It was
Jacoby Brissett. And then the second stat that should get him fired was Russell Wilson sucked his first game. He played against us that second game and threw for 450 yards and like 4 touchdowns. Then we never heard from him again. He's been a healthy scratch. He's been a healthy scratch. Against Geno Smith, he tore us up. He leads the league. They have a stat where he has like 18 interceptions and he has like 20 drop interceptions. And it's like stuff like that. It's like as a professional defensive coordinator, kind of like Aaron Glenn with the Jets. They have 0 interceptions as a team through 16 weeks. Like I didn't even know that was possible. And he's a defensive coach. He's a defensive back, and their team has 0 interceptions. Stuff like that is certain things that should never happen on a team, and the stats we've been putting up should never happen.
Just go back and like when we start looking back at this defense, we're gonna be like, Rico Dowdle ran for 250 yards against you. Like, stuff like that. You're like, what the hell? Just whatever.
And what makes me mad about this is they are not helping Dak at all in this. Like Dak is playing MVP ball, and they have the 3 worst scoring defenses the Cowboys have ever had. Like imagine this in history, Dallas Cowboys history. The 3 worst scoring defenses have been while Dak has been quarterback. Mike Nolan, Mike Zimmer, and now this defense. And
20,
this defense is the worst of all of them.
And 25.
It's like insane.
It's amazing. It's amazing. Yeah, that's when you're talking about the stat, like the one stat that you want to show that says, hey, Flus needs to be fired. I would just show a picture of Dak and be like,
yeah, I'm like,
how fucking hard does this guy work? And what are you giving him? What are you doing?
Man, he's like been like and then he'll score 30, and then it's some fools that get on the internet like, oh, Dak should have played a better game. Like, hold on, for compare and contrast, the Bills-Eagles game. Jalen Hurts in the second half did not complete a pass. Did not complete a pass. He was so bad. He did not complete a pass. It was a game where a guy had 51 passes. Man, I forgot who the quarterback was. He had 51 passing yards, and they still won the game. Jalen Hurts didn't complete.
Oh, that was the Vikings. That was the Vikings third back.
When the Vikings guy Brosner, he had 51 yards passing the whole game, and
that was
won.
on the last drive too. They had negative
exactly.
6 yards passing going into half.
Jalen Hurts didn't complete a pass, and they won the game. Dak will go 28 out of 34 for 326 yards and 4 touchdowns, and still lose the game. And then it'll be like, well, Dak should have done more. And I'm like, that's how I judge people on how they judge Dak. If you come on there and say something like, well, Dak should have did more to win, then I know I can't take you seriously as a person.
I get online and I've had to lately. I'll type something out and then I'll go, no, I'm not going to send this because there's no reason to send it because it's like I'll see a reply that's like Cowboys are going to fire Eberflus, and then like there'll be a response on there from somebody who's like, and let Dak go too while you're at it, and I'm like, what? And I'll just start typing something out like, and then I'll go, this is stupid. I know. I got into it,
so yeah,
I know why you don't like Dak. Everybody does. Everybody else knows why you don't like Dak. It's not because of his production or his stats. Get the fuck out of here.
He gets paid too much. He's paid, and I'm like, we have $100 million in cap space next year without Dak doing well. No, I think they can restructure Dak, but he's only like 10 to 12 million of the 100 million they can create in cap space. So his salary has nothing to do with why our team isn't good. So you can get that. Oh, yeah. Like that's been debunked.
That was the biggest thing. Is like, oh, Dak's making $65 million this year. No, Dak was making like $13 million like 2 years ago, and he took it all in bonus, and now it's all coming back.
His cap hit, like that's something the team does. It has nothing to do with Dak.
Get mad at his endorsements if you really want to get mad. Get mad at how hot his fucking wife is. Don't get mad at how this is some shit. This is stupid. But
salary and cap hit are two different things. But anyway,
100%. So Diggs is released. Next thing that is Steven was on 105 yesterday and said they were talking about Clowney, and Clowney really impressed the front office by coming out and saying, these are his words. He said, I'm not done playing football. I appreciate the teams that have brought me in halfway through and allowed me to do my thing. He's like, but next year I'm going to go to training camp, all 6 weeks of training camp, and I'm going to come and I'm going to be the best player that I've ever been. And he said, I hope this is in Dallas. And that Steven got on and said that they were really blown away with what he was saying, and like this is going to be a top priority to bring him back. I don't see any reason why we wouldn't throw everything we possibly could at him, because not that he is a Micah. He's not Micah. We're not paying him to be Micah. We're paying him to be what he does well, which is a spot rush the quarterback, make tackles on the line on running backs. I mean, this is exactly what we needed, and let's bring him back, please. What do you think?
What really sold me on him, even though I was sold on him, what really sold me on him was literally last night. I watched the sounds from the sideline, and when Bill, whatever his last name, McCoskey Merritt, had that 70-something yard run, he was so mad that he would, like, even though he was the only reason, he put it all on him. Like, I'm the reason he got that touchdown. He was pissed. You could tell he was mad. He wasn't like doing it for show. He was so mad. He's like, man, hold it head. Like he was holding himself accountable. And it's like, before anybody can hold you accountable, you got to hold yourself accountable. And to me, that is a sign of a good teammate. And personally, I believe he's been the most consistent defensive end we've had all year. He's not the most talented, and he's not. I think James Houston is a more talented pass rusher, and I think Easy Ezeraku is going to end up being better than him, but he wasn't consistent the whole year. When Clowney was playing, he was the most consistent against the run and the pass combined than any other defensive end. I think Quinnen Williams was better than him on the defensive line, but I think he was the most consistent defensive end.
Yeah, Clowney just has. Clowney was a war dog, right? That's what Jerry wanted. He wants the war dogs on there. Clowney's been the best at everything that he's always his whole life. Right? Most NFL players have. but
Yep.
he has something to him. 5 sacks in the small amount of games that he played with us isn't his measuring stick. That's really good. And when you think about the 5 sacks, when you calculate it, it comes out to be like 13, 14 for the whole season, which would be really nice.
If he was a full-time
season.
player,
yeah. But the simple fact is that it's not just his pass rush that we covet. Like, he plays down the line and he makes so many plays on traps and screens, and he just makes it difficult. So I'd really like to bring him back.
He's the reason why I like DeMarcus Lawrence. He did a lot of things he wasn't elite in one thing, but he did a lot of things above average or very, very good. And to me,
100%.
You need players like that. Like, I mean, it's fun to have a Micah who you like, man, we got to count from every play, but to have a Clowney on your team, those are the players that help you win Super Bowls. Those are the players that help you deep in the playoffs.
100%. And the thing that I really liked about what he talked about too was he brought it back to say, I've been on a lot of teams and been on a lot of situations and been on winning teams and things. He's like, this is the most fun I've ever had playing football.
Yeah, I like
so
that.
What that tells me is like the culture that Shysty brought in with the other coaches and like the way that the players are working together, it's like it's bringing fun back into this. And I think that, I mean, we'll get into, and next week we can get into all the what do we need to do and all the scenarios and stuff. But I really do believe that with this Trevon Diggs release today, I believe it's going to start the sieve, and we are going to see a release of a lot of these defensive players. Not everything's going to be. It's not going to be announced because a lot of the players were one and done, one player, year.
Like they didn't have a contract. Yeah. So we're not releasing them. So, they're just not going to be re-signed.
Jerry, right now, I think he's bought into the culture that we have, and he's going to get rid of the players that didn't buy into the culture. And Trevon was one of the first.
So we did. So in our pre-production meeting, we were going to bring up the DC search, but I think that's a whole conversation.
We'll talk about next week.
We're out of time, so we'll say that for next week because I think a lot of Dan Quinn's players are getting the boot this offseason, like the Donovan Wilsons, the Malik Hookers, the Trevon Diggs. So a lot of those guys are going to be gone. So we'll talk about that next. Plus, we'll tie that into. Plus, we'll know for sure what our draft picks are going to be next week, which we can tie that into what we're going to pick with our 2 first-round draft picks, what we need. But before we go, how do you feel about Dak starting? Yay or nay? Thumbs up, thumbs
down. As a fan, thumbs up. As a Dallas Cowboy realist, I think he should sit. But to sell tickets, I think Dak should at least play one series. I think he should get out there and say, "This is what we have. This is what we have for next year. Thank you guys for coming out. High five everybody. Receive his flowers and sit down."
Love watching Dak play, and I'm 100% okay with him not playing a single down this game, only because it serves no purpose. If anything was on the line, like say he had some kind of bonus if he got 112 yards passing, then I could see that. But there's nothing on the line. He gains nothing from playing. The Meadowlands is known for tearing people's ACL, so I don't need to see.
They don't have that stadium anymore. Get out of here. That's old shit.
I don't need to see any Giants defensive lineman. Oh, we're gonna take Dak out or dive at his knees or any player like that. I don't need to see any of that. So I will gladly see him sit out to get ready for next year.
I think I was kind of set up here. If you're asking me if I think he should have sat out, 100% sat out. Yes. My answer to this is the reflection of them saying he is going to play. They've already said he's going to start.
I'm not going to be upset because Shysty is trying to create a culture, and the culture he's creating is Dak plays. So if he plays and he's consistent with that, I'm okay with that. I'm consistent with my culture type thing, because there were certain play, like for instance, how they have him play in the preseason, like it's a meaningless game and they have him play. So some coaches are like, that's what we do. So if Shot is like, this is what we do, I'm okay with that. I would rather him not play. So it's one of those. If he plays, I hope it's like you said, a series or two. Then get Milton from the second quarter all the way down to the end of the game and have him play. If he doesn't play, I would not be upset at all.
Yeah, I think that's exactly how I feel. True that.
But that's how it is. So we're winding down the season. One more game to see. I don't think we had any people that had any incentives to play, like, oh, I need to get one more sack for $1 million bonus type thing. So I think we're just playing for pride now.
I think there is one. I think it's not monetary, but Ferg is playing for some record for tight ends. I don't know what it is. I'll look at it, but it is. I know that everybody kind of talks about how Ferg really didn't have a good season. He had a better than okay season. He had a better than average season for tight ends.
To me, he had an efficient season. He didn't have a what we thought he would be type season, but from the tight end position, he put up, like, to me, he earned his paycheck. Like, he's not overpaid. He earned what he was paid. But like, I think he's better than that. So that's why I'm like, I think it was a little underwhelming, only because I think he's better than that. But he wasn't a disappointment. Let me put it that way.
There you go. But I was just saying that I think there is a reason for him to. It's like McBride this last week got the most, catches in a season for a tight end or something.
Yeah.
I think he has like some. I'll look it up and we'll talk about it next week.
So next week we'll do we'll give a grades. I think we'll give some grades for how we think, like, coaching and offense, defense, and we already know defense is getting it. What's worse than an F? Like a G minus is what the defense thinks. But anyway,
we'll try to play the pass fail. Pass fail. It wasn't even a grade.
We'll go over that. We'll go over the DC search. Hopefully, by the time we're talking, they'll had already announced that Eberflus has been fired and the search is on.
Yes, please.
But we'll go over that. What went right, what went wrong, what we liked in the game, and hopefully no injuries. But we'll talk about that next week. We'll have some off-season type stuff next week to go, and then we'll discuss some NFL playoffs to see what we like. Probably see, we'll try to give a prediction of who we think is going to make the Super Bowl before it starts, so we can have it on record, stuff like that. Thanks for tuning in this week, and say goodbye to the people. We're about to hit a new year.
Heck yeah, I was just about to say that. The simple fact, I was just looking back at our channel, and I was looking at how many episodes we had and all the interactions that we've had with our fans and stuff this year. This year's been a good year. It really has been an amazing year. And I mean, Christmas came and went, and New Year's is coming tomorrow night, and I just hope that you guys all enjoy time with your family, make it safe, make it a memory, make some memories, because we don't get these days back, right? So, hey, thank you for being my partner in all this shit, man. I appreciate you. This whole year's been awesome. I love you, man.
Yeah.
DC for life.
So y'all have a good day. We'll see y'all next week.
We'll see you in the new year. We'll see you next year.
Y'all stay warm.
I got to say it. I got to say that dad joke this time.
See you next year.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.